Hey guys, Amy Coelho. We are back with the color blue. All right, so we have a dream from a dreamer. Let's just put it that way. Okay, so we have a dream from a dreamer. We're going to talk about the color blue. Before we get started, I wanted to talk a little bit. The positive symbol for blue can represent communion with God, revelation, a heavenly experience, right? So we correlate blue with things of revelation and communion with God, right? In the negative sense, we look at blue as, like I said in the earlier video, as being depressive, baby blues. You know, it's the opposite of revelation and communion with God. It is the lack of communion and revelation with God then brings about a state of depression or a lack of joy. A lack of connection, right? So if you're not connected, then it brings hopelessness, despair, and sadness. Okay. So we're going to go on so I can use my board. All right, ready?
I'm ready. I was riding in a car on my way to homecoming. I was with a friend. Her mom was driving us. The girl she was with was wearing a plain pink dress. I was wearing an elaborate space alien looking dress.
The friend was wearing pink?
Yes, a plain pink dress. I was wearing an elaborate space alien looking dress. It was deep, dark blue with long sleeves and a long train. It was dusted with sparkles that looked like the stars in a galaxy. My hair was up in a bun with a sparkly tiara. It had a high neck like a dog cone on the dress. On the way, I remembered I forgot the $121 I needed to get into the dance. No one would lend me any money. The whole ride, I was dreading going now because I couldn't get in. I also became very self-conscious about what I was wearing and what everyone would think, that I loved the dress so much. I wore it always. And she even drew her dress and explained it even more.
Yes, and the dress looks like the Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland. So it's kind of a high neck and very. But notice that the dreamer says alien, right?
Yeah, alien princess dress.
Alien parents and princess, and that's going to come into play in just a minute. So we want to anchor down the dream, and when we anchor down the dream, we always want to look at where are we in the dream. Okay, because that's going to anchor us down. And in this case, the dreamer is in a car. Mm-hmm. What did we say car means? Car represents the things that drive you, the things that you're impassioned about. Maybe you're impassioned about your education, your family, your children, maybe your, MLM business, maybe your, career, maybe, whatever it is, it's that thing that just you can't stop thinking about. You're always on, right? And so in this case, the dreamer, this has to do with her passion. It's about what she is, what drives her, okay? So, homecoming. Homecoming, and the dreamer says, I'm off to the homecoming dance, right? And homecoming is that dance that, other than prom, homecoming's the dance, right? So it is the show and tell, right? It's why we dress up. What else can you think of homecoming? When we think of homecoming, what do we think? Other than football game. Usually it's a football game with the opposite party, the opposite team. And so, but homecoming is that, that play at home, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's going to come into play here also. So let's keep going through. Her friend is wearing pink. And pink, I don't want to get into the color pink right now because we're talking about blue, but pink is a color of love. It's somebody that she's traveling with. Right, and that represents love, and this. Then immediately she recognizes that she is in this alien princess dress, right? So the dreamer recognizes her position as a princess, right, in the kingdom. So it's a positioning and an authority issue that we're talking about. She also represents alien, foreign. So it's this call that she has is kind of out there. It's outside of the box. And you know the dreamer, right? And so would you say this call that she has is kind of a little bit out of the box, right? And it's kind of out there. Maybe people won't get her,
Right.
right? And kind of it's a fear, and we'll walk through this. She says, I need $121 to get in. Could you look that up, Carl? 121. Now, typically, when we talk about numbers in dreams, every single time we saw a number in a dream in the Bible, it was spoken about literally. 3 branches was 3 days, 7 cows was 7 years, right? So each time we saw a number, it really was a literal issue. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, is there Highway 121 here? Is there? I get my cities mixed up now. I would look into what is on that Highway 121, because that's the literal aspect of this dream, 121. But in this case, she needs 121 to enter, right? So there's also, not only do we look at the dream, the number in a dream literally, but we also look at it with gematria, which is a Hebraic understanding of numbers and how we can correlate numbers and how we add them up, divide them, and break them apart. In this case, it's 4. 121 equals 4. And so 4 is things of the natural, right? It's a spiritual call, but we're talking about how it's going to relate to the natural, okay? And then she says, now is when the fear. So here she's in the car, ready to be presented, and now she's got the dress. So she's recognizing her position. She recognizes that this is a kind of an out-of-the-box issue. And then all of a sudden, the fear of not being included, right? I won't have what it takes, right? I won't have, and then she said that she was self-conscious about the dress. So the two things that God wants to deal with her and her passion and the call on her life, that message, that thing that he's called her to, that seems a little out of the box, but out of the box is good, because out of the box people they're forerunners, right? And so probably, if you know her, I would say she's probably a forerunner, right? And so forerunner are those who go into places that haven't been gone before. And a lot of people get stuck and they don't quite make it through because they haven't learned how to deal with the issues. And God's saying, hey, we've got some issues we want to deal with. And in this case, we're talking about not being included, not having what it takes, and then being self-conscious. What will others think? How will I fit in? And where God is calling her, she's got to die to those issues. And here's what's beautiful about the dream. When God gives us these dreams and we recognize that these are issues of our heart, hey God, I know you've called us, I know I have this message, but I just don't feel like I fit in, or what will people think? Maybe I don't have what it takes. Maybe if I'm gonna get halfway there, and listen, we've all gone through it. And if you're not going through it, it means you are not in a position where you are living out your dreams. Because we've all got to get to a place where we are living outside of ourselves, that it's just bigger than we can handle, because that's where God wants us. That's where we make headway. That's where we find our success and our fulfillment, right? Our fulfillment is not found in get up, go to work, go home, eat dinner. Get up, go to work, go home, eat dinner. Get up, right? We've got to be loose from the American dream. We don't find satisfaction in it, and we stop dreaming. And so we've got to have that passion. We've got to find that passion. And in that passion, and so I would say that she needs, the beautiful part about the dream is that once God reveals it to us, we recognize it's in us, we repent for it, and we say, hey, I don't want this in me. God, help me get this out. The fact that God's revealing it to her is going to be an immediate issue. And once she recognizes it, it's not going to hinder her anymore. It's not that it just goes away. Not fitting in, as you know, as an adult, we sometimes feel like we don't fit in. We still wonder, are we going to fit in? We still wonder at our, I don't know, I'm 43,
It's a younger person who's dreaming this, at age 14.
Right, and we still deal with, what will I have, what it takes for this next level? Yeah. Am I going to have the finances to see the vision forward? But the difference is it doesn't debilitate us, right? We recognize it's there, and we move past it through truths, trading the lie out for the truth. The truth is that you're right, you don't have what it takes, but he does. God has what it takes, and God in you is going to see that through. And you're right, we probably don't have the finances, because whatever God is calling you to is going to be bigger than your pocketbook even allows for you to, because that's who He is. And so that He can show His glory, right? And then, will I fit in? Probably not, because He wants us a little bit out there, because that's what brings attention, that's what brings our authority, that's what brings our influence, right? Fitting in we're not very influential when we fit in, right?
Yes, that's where he is.
Yes, we are. We are foreign. We are foreign to this world, and she is called to that out of the box place, right? Well, great. That is the color blue, and
Did
you
Carl
know.
get 121?
Oh, did you have 121? No, they have not
Psalm
found
121.
121.
I know, that's what I was
Yeah,
just
Psalm
gonna look at
121.
Psalm
Yeah.
121. That's
There
your
was
word.
there's
Yes.
a definition for 120, but not.
Yeah, I lift my eyes up to the mountain. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven, right? And so the whole thing has to do, lean on God, because you don't have what it takes. Go ahead and recognize that, so that He can infuse you with His power, His authority, and His influence to make that vision and dream come true. The great part about the blue and the tiara, the sparkles, is that people will recognize her. There's a positioning in there. And that blue dress is just that communion with God, that bringing the revelation to the table, bringing that revelation and that communion to others so that others will see. Well, that's amazing. And this, if we took blue out of the dream, it would mean something completely different. Say if the dream, if the dress was red, we'd be talking about something completely different. If it was yellow or green, we'd be talking about something completely different. Not so much about the issues, but just what she's bringing to the table. And God is saying, I am cloaking you and mantling you, and I am positioning you in revelation and to be able to hear from me to walk this out. I'm Amy Coelho, and this is eyes2see.org. Go and sign up for your free dream journal and type those dreams in. We'd love for you to champion our cause. Until next time.